Nostr.
Welcome to Nostrdevs 13. This might end up being a little bit of a bearish. You might want to hold back. You might want to hold back your applause. This might end up being a little bit of a bearish episode. I do want to start with something that's a little bit positive. Just in the last, I think in the last week or two, a bridge opened up between Nostr and Blue Sky. So this is my Nostr profile viewed on Blue Sky.
Looks like Twitter.
It looks like Twitter, yeah, it really does. This is an announcement that I'll be paying out 10,000 sats if I can get a good bearish argument. Just make your steelman argument in the live stream comments, and I'll zap the best argument. Yeah, so things might get a little bearish, but I do think just the ability to do this, that I can like crowdsource this question and be able to pay over Lightning. There's nowhere else you can do that. So just being able to do that, I think, is a little bit of a bullish sentiment. Okay, back to the bridge thing. So that's one side of the bridge. Now if I go over on Nostr, this is my Blue Sky profile as seen from Nostr. So it works pretty seamlessly. It's a true bridge. It's two-way. It's not the threads Fediverse crap where it's one way because they're taking forever to implement anything with it. This actually works. So I guess for some people that enjoy both protocols, they might have to decide whether they want their main profile to be Nostr and have that like work its way through the bridge in the Blue Sky, or just make Blue Sky the main like shitposting account. I could go either way for mine. I don't mind using either one. Nostr has more features, but sticking to like basic kind one is probably better for overall reach. One thing I like about Nostr is I do find it, for me, it's pretty addictive. So I like the ability to just delete the key from all my devices and put it away somewhere. I guess I could probably do the same thing if I was running my own PDS server for the AT protocol, but I'm not really sure how that works. All right. I want to remind everyone to use Nostr Graveyard. If you're following dead accounts, you're kind of making it worse for everyone else. So just a quick demo of this again. I discovered that you can enter decimal values here. So I can look for profiles that have been inactive for less than a month. I've been cleaning my follows out pretty regularly, so if I just go with 1 month, there won't be any results.
Am I inactive? Can you look at me and make my PlebLab?
I think I might have already had to remove. Well, no, that's true. That's true. I think you've been pretty active recently.
I just sent out like 1 note a month. That's enough to not get graveyarded.
Okay, assuming that I'm still following you, which I think I am, let's try 0.1 months and let's see if you show up. Actually, I'm probably going to get a lot of months.
That's very aggressive.
That's like 3 days.
Oh, that's not fair. Show up then.
Well, I'm afraid most of my followers probably will show up now.
Yeah.
Although some of them do post every day.
It's an exclusive list you have there.
Yeah,
5-1.
I've been.
Boom, there's Bitcoin PlebLab right there.
Oh, there you are. So you have not been active in the last 3 days. You're gonna have to step your Nostr game up.
Alright, I'm setting it out right now.
Cool. Okay, yeah, just a reminder, it really does help everyone. And it helps you too. If you've built up like 1,000 or 2,000 follows, that's not really useful. So it's a good tool here to clean up your follow list. Someone also they were calling it a DVM, but really, I don't know if it qualifies as a DVM, but it was just like a bot that would DM you the inactive profiles. I think that approach works if you don't have too many, but if you have to clean out hundreds, this this will get the job done because it's one click and you unfollow, bury them. Yeah, so
Does it play a little like jingle, like a break digger jingle?
it's not that fancy. You can make a PR though, I'll accept it. Okay, next one. I finally want to look at highlighter. It's been on my radar for like a year now, and I can see it's gone through a complete overhaul, and I like it a lot better now. They kind of did away with the like really nerdy list management stuff that it was trying to do, and it's more focused now on the main features, which are around articles and highlights. So let's see. If you just go to highlighter.com, this is like the main page, but home is a different page. So really home is the best place to start. So highlighter.com/home. This place here for you. It's I think it's some type of algorithm, but it's a decent algorithm because it gives discovery of articles that you might find interesting. I think it's based on articles that have been highlighted, probably highlighted by people you follow. I'm assuming that's how the algorithm is based. So that's a good way to discover things that are not like immediately in your network. But then if you just go to articles, this is not an algorithmic feed. This is just articles by people I follow. So I think that's great. Keeps things clean. And then highlights is the same thing. It's highlights from people I follow. So that's a good way to discover articles. Lately, I'm finding myself enjoying this more than spending too much time with the kind one shit posts.
So is that its own event?
Yeah, so each highlight is its own event. Let's see. Yeah, so here, highlighter is mainly used for either making highlights on Nostr events that are long form, or it can be highlights just based on anything from the web. And that's the case here with this one.
Oh, that's cool.
So that opens it up to discovering that, yeah, I think it's cool because it's discovering stuff outside of Nostr too, but using Nostr for the highlighting part. So we have this interview with Jack Dorsey, and anytime there's a highlight, you'll see it here. This is where someone highlighted it. Then I think you can make replies on the comments. I believe they would show up there if they had any replies.
That's really cool.
Oops. Yeah, let's go back to another one. Go back to home, articles. Okay, here's one. This was actually a bug. I ended up investigating this bug a little bit, but this
article that produced no.
The article. That's good. It's not really a bug in highlighter, but there was a bug in a client that created the article, and it created this. It's a parameterized replaceable event without a D tag. So that's the problem.
Oh.
I think no tag is supposed to be interpreted as an empty string, but that's kind of an edge case. So I'm not really surprised that clients like this don't know what to do with it. Let me find another one. Okay, the ethics of Nostr. This is a good one. Should have some highlights. Okay, I'm trying to find a highlight that already has a comment, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that. So I think you get the overall idea. And I wanted to jump into Abla News next because it's very similar. It's basically providing the read-only interface for the highlighter events. So you see the same kind of feed. This is a timeline feed, not algorithmic, based on follows, and it's all the long form like blog posts from people I follow. So I can go on here. The main difference is that while it does support the highlighter events, like I can see here, here's a highlight. As far as I know, you can't create highlights in this app. And that's I think that's pretty much in line with how a lot of Nostr development happens. You'll have apps that, especially like Amethyst, that mostly focus on being able to read a lot of kinds, but aren't designed for creating that content.
Can you check out the article from Coop?
Yeah,
That was a cross post.
Yeah, I
It
was
was-
wondering what that looked like, 'cause this is probably a cross.
it's cross. So it was posted on Stacker News, I'm guessing, and
Yeah.
automatically cross-posted to Nostr.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if somebody highlighted something, so it was on
I
there.
don't see any. Let me pull it up on Highlighter. Let's go ahead and make a highlight. I'm going to do one on bulk 12. Let's see. So that's actually how you make a highlight. It's a little bit unexpected because you kind of think, okay, I'm going to click here and then I'm going to make a highlight, but actually just clicking there makes the highlight, because the highlight itself doesn't have any other, like, there's no comment embedded in it. I could repost my highlight or reply to it, but the highlight itself is just that. So now it does have a highlight. I should be able to go back. If I go back to the article now, we should see a highlight. Oh, here it is.
Maybe you don't see your own highlights?
Could be. Let me see if it shows up on Obla News.
We're beta tasting in real time.
Yeah, I don't see it. I'm not sure what's up with that. Okay.
It's up with the manager of Nostr.
I wanted to look at one more long-form content client. I don't like this one. It's too noisy. Like, what's all this flash news? I don't want to see news.
Yeah, this reminds me of like early 2000s news article pages.
Yeah.
'Cause they have all the sidebars, just all sorts of stuff going on.
I don't even understand this. Is there a way for me to just see? I can go by relays, but I want to see by my follows. Yeah, like this is too much. There's too much going on here.
It says follows at the top.
Oh, okay. But is this showing me only? Okay, that might be what I was looking for. What kind of event? But see, this is a video. Okay, that's the problem. If I go to follows there, but I just want to see blogs, I don't think I can do that. It's showing videos. What's this? More videos. Yeah. It just needs work. I mean, if there was a quick way to configure it and say turn off all the flashy news and have a feed where, like, maybe I want to see videos. Well, I can do that here, but maybe I want to see just articles. But yeah, it's just too busy for me. If I want to see videos, I can go to FlarePub. We've looked at this app before, just real quick. And Nostrdevs has them too. So I can go, where is it? I think it's in other stuff. Videos, yeah, I can browse them this way. And it's a clean interface. I can go by follows or I can use lists. So yeah, I'll stick to Highlighter and Obla News for now for the blog style content. All right. This is an app called brainstorm.ninja, but it's pretty heavy. I think I'll save that for later. We looked at Wikifreedia before, but there's another one now, wikistir.com. And I think the original Wiki Nostr is still around. Let's see. Yeah, And if I end up getting into brainstorm.ninja, we'll see it has its own interface into the wiki style events. So that means Nostr has 4 different wiki clients. We've got brainstorm.ninja, Wikifreedia, wikistir.com, and WikiNostr. WikiNostr is the original one. I don't think it's really being maintained that much. But Wikistir, to me, just on first glance, it seems to be less buggy than Wikifreedia. So I think it's worth checking out. Okay, there's a few apps from the Amethyst developers. This one is a resume, I guess it's a resume app. Maybe it might be trying to be like a LinkedIn alternative. So it's a place where I can fill out like my profile in a resume style. I don't know where, like, I would expect to see a way to like browse other resumes. It seems to just redirect to like to edit to fill out my own. I don't see a way to browse other ones.
What if you just go to the home page?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like every time I go to the home page, okay, it has the login thing. It just redirects here. Maybe after I fill one out, maybe it would let me see some more. I don't know. But I think it's a cool concept. I don't know. Would anyone here actually use this?
Jim's talking about the idea of using Nostr to essentially post your resume on Nostr and use it as a jobs board to put LinkedIn out of business. Because LinkedIn, yeah, they control all your information.
Yeah.
They sign you up for all the spam. It's, at least for me, it's pretty useless.
Yeah.
Especially for the industries that I'm in. So it'd be cool to have like a jobs board, like to have more control over your own resume.
Right.
And the way LinkedIn has a social aspect to it. So like to have control over your identity, your professional identity that you're building.
Yeah.
Instead of like LinkedIn having that control over you.
LinkedIn plays these weird games with it where it's like, yeah, we have the keys for your identity and you're going to pay us to unlock special features. And it's like, all that stuff can be public.
Yeah.
Like, especially with this kind of profile, I mean, you're going to want it to be public, right? It's you're kind of putting your best foot forward there. So, and then the social side can be a lot better because LinkedIn, the quality of the social side there is so bad. Like, I think people only post there if they're like trying to get a job or something, or no one just goes on there for enjoyment, except me.
Yeah. It's funny because if you care about your identity on there, then you are more likely to post very milquetoast comments.
Right.
But if you don't care, then you're a little more free and open about stuff, which makes it more interesting. But it's interesting for the people that don't give a shit.
Yeah, I think I'm
Like
starting
an alternative Twitter.
I think I'm at least trying to become one of those people. It's like, you know, at first I was definitely like, I didn't post much and I was like, you know, didn't want to say anything spicy. But now I feel a little more comfortable and I'll just, you know, I'll engage with some of the more like, just some of the humorous stuff on there. Gotta have some of that.
I think something on the LinkedIn thing that would be cool is like, how do I show off my work online?
Yeah.
Right? Now, in today's age, I do that through GitHub, maybe a little bit of LinkedIn, because that's kind of my job history.
Right.
And maybe a little bit of Twitter, because that's kind of my network, I guess. But Nostr can combine all of these. Like, let me build a super extended Nippo5 or Kind Zero.
Right.
With like, here's all my best projects, here's my history of work, here's a list of tags with the kind of work I do. And
since you mentioned that, it makes me think of Nostr again. Like, isn't Nostr kind of an extended kind 0, like profile level stuff?
I'm not sure, I've never looked at it.
Okay. It says I have no links yet. I thought I created one of these at one point.
So this is like a link tree.
It's like a link tree, so I question it a lot. Part of me feels that, like, okay, for the most part, Linktree is good at what it does,
Yeah.
right? Unless you're like super dissident, like if you're not somebody who's really, really a target of censorship, I think LinkedIn or Beacons gets the job done pretty well. And if you want to get fancier, just make your own. Make your own, fully customize it. So I'm not quite sure where something like Nostr fits into the mix.
Yeah, it's just like, this isn't, for me, it doesn't give me anything else because I already have a personal website
Yeah,
that I curated to
exactly.
make myself look exactly how I want, and I can
Exactly.
just put that link in my bio, and in fact I do.
Yeah,
But the advantage that Nostr could give me is that it could basically cross-authenticate this stuff. Like,
Mhm.
like when I was doing the GitHub Nostr stuff, you would create an authenticated proof between your Nostr profile and your GitHub account, right?
Yeah.
So if you're saying these are my projects, like Nostr should be like the true proof of like, okay, this guy actually built this shit. He's actually in control of this GitHub profile, control of this, whatever, LinkedIn page, this YouTube page. You can verify that, like, yeah, look, I got like, 100,000 YouTube subs. I'm like,
Yeah.
on YouTube or something like that. In this way to where everywhere else you're just making links.
yeah. Everywhere else it's just links and links that are easily broken. But with Nostr, with
You
Nostr,
could even do something where you use NIP05 and you don't use Nostr at all. Just use NIP5.
yeah,
It's like you could host your NIP5 hub key on your own personal website.
I
And
do.
then other websites that host the cryptographic proofs, not necessarily as a Nostr, on a Nostr relay, but just on your own database, because they're providing a service and they want to control the level of service.
Yeah.
You could they could have signed notes that they store, and you can cross-reference those with your website that has a NIP05. And you actually don't really need relays in between if
Yeah.
you don't want to.
You could extend your NIP05 with a series of links and proofs. And in fact, I think that's on the kind 0, how the authentication protocol goes, but you could do this where it's like, not only am I verifying this is me with my NIP05, but you'll see a series of proofs. Here's my GitHub page with a proof. Here's my Twitter page with a proof. And then like any other client could like hit that NIP05 and then verify all those proofs in a second, and then render a link tree, perfectly.
yeah.
It's one that I curated on my own NIP05.
It kind of sounds like there should be a new NIP for that deals with expanding what you can put in a NIP5 response, right? It's
Yeah.
just a JSON object, and currently I think it can do relays. I think
Yeah, it can do relays.
it can have npubs, not just one. I think it can have. You could have npubs for all your friends, or maybe other profiles that are yours.
Yeah, it's just relays and pubs. And you think about it right now, it's just this flow where a given client, if you have a NIP05 and a kind 0,
Mhm.
it just makes a freaking GET request.
Yeah,
And it sees if your public key is there.
I'll tell you.
But it can make a GET request and see like, oh, there's 5 other links I need to make GET requests to,
Yeah,
and check the keys. And it's basically the same process, you just have to like add a loop.
I'll tell you what I'd like to see added some way, integrated into Nostr some way, whether it's through that or some other means, is RSS. I've been going down that rabbit hole more.
Oh yeah.
Because RSS is still useful. I think the early attempts to jam existing RSS feeds into Nostr were, like, for me, they were exciting, but then I realized it's a dependency that's going to break. Because then you're relying on a third-party service to port that stuff into Nostr events. So, okay, I don't know if my Umbrel's running, but I was going to pull up fresh RSS and show you that. But yeah, I'd like to see more RSS feeds in Nostr, however that's going to work. Like, I'd like to be able to share my RSS feeds that way.
What do you think is
Curate.
an example of RSS being uniquely useful.
Well,
In some way that like Nostr couldn't equally satisfy.
it's not that Nostr couldn't, but it's acknowledging the way things are today. It's not always best to Nostrify everything. So podcasts is probably the best example, because podcasts are pretty mainstream, and they're using RSS under the hood. And it works pretty well.
Yeah.
People could start doing podcasts in a like Nostr native way, but then you're sort of dividing the space a little bit, because then it's like you would need a special app for that.
In RSS, if I'm publishing a podcast on RSS manually, let's say, I'm literally running the server that's serving up the audio file. So RSS is just this open communication protocol to communicate. Here's this file. Here's the metadata around it. Here's where it's hosted, and I'm definitely the one that posted it. That seems like Nostr.
Yeah, it's almost like Nostr, but there's just one relay, right?
Yeah.
Where Nostr is more like a bulletin board. It's like, here's a relay, and it's going to serve maybe thousands of people who want to post their stuff. So RSS seems like a pretty good fit for a smaller number of people who are either developers or maybe they are content creators themselves, and they have a reason to put a little more effort into setting it up. Could Nostr eventually replace it if it was big enough? Probably would, but if it doesn't really get that big, then it has to do the things that it's particularly suited for, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was the first of the new Amethyst. Well, I'm calling it an Amethyst app. It's I guess it's by the creators of Amethyst. There's another one. This one's for spreadsheets, and this is the one where I saw it and I was just like, why? Why would you want to have spreadsheets on Nostr? I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, we have there's Open Office, right?
Yeah.
Why not just use Open Office and like host your files somehow? I don't understand why do we need this?
Can you blame people for the individual mistakes that they make?
I mean, I guess,
You
but like,
miscalculated this cell. I want to know about that.
oh, let's do that on the blockchain. Yeah, let's have every calculation be a bit VM.
Yeah. You have money at stake.
Yeah.
Don't screw up.
I think this is the kind of thing that Hodlbod was talking about. He did a post recently about, where is it? Square peg in a round hole. Yeah, and he's mentioning the weaknesses of Nostr. You don't have atomic state. Like
God knows.
especially when you have multiple people trying to update state in Nostr, things can get really messy. It's already bad enough.
Telling me.
It's already bad enough when it's just you and you're trying to maintain your contact list, and some apps don't, always pull the latest event, and you get race conditions. But then, say you have multiple people working on a spreadsheet in Nostr, that just seems like a bad idea. So I don't know. Does anyone have a good steel man for why to use this?
Yeah, I'll just spreadsheet wars.
Yeah.
Anything I can think of.
I think if you post a read-only static spreadsheet to Nostr, maybe there's a reason that's useful. Like you do the actual creation and editing of it in Google Sheets, and then you post it.
Yeah.
All right, here's our ELO scores for the league.
Yeah, it could work
this
for
year,
that.
Whatever.
And why would that be
It's cool that
better?
there's a format in which you can post on Nostr and that someone can render it, but it's not useful to share and edit the spreadsheet on Nostr.
Yeah, but if it's just for that, more like the view only, I could already use Nextcloud, do something like that. I'm not really sure where this would have a clear advantage.
Yeah, I mean, just duplicate on other people's servers.
I want to remind everyone that I'm still going to zap 10,000 sats, and right now the best response I got is from Logan. Nostr won't work because how speed doesn't use it. Who's that? I don't know what that is.
I show speak.
Wait, what? I still don't know what that is.
So
But
it's a big Gen Z streamer.
Oh. Maybe if we can get Mr. Beast on Nostr, then we'll win.
These bars.
Okay, so that's spreadsheets, and then Formster. This is not from the Amethyst developers, but I think it's along the same lines. Well, I don't know who made this, but you can create a web form. So just like you would use Google Forms.
Ottawa.news uses Formster.
It does?
I've also tried it. It's pretty nice.
I'm starting to think this might actually make sense. Because these kinds of forms are very public, right? You're trying to publicly gather information.
Yeah, and it's not contentious what the state of the form is.
Yeah, that part's centralized.
Yeah.
You're the creator of the form, and then you're just opening it to anyone to contribute.
Yeah.
That could be.
But they contribute their own entry to that. You're not fighting over a spreadsheet or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and Nostr could open up cool ways to do data analysis on the entries. Like, especially if it gets bigger and you have thousands and thousands of entries, now you're going to want to do things like Web of Trust to try to analyze the entries. This I could see being useful. Not so much on the spreadsheets.
Okay, maybe I was getting mixed up. The Formster I'm thinking about is like the comments and thread micro app.
Okay.
That Pablo uses for comments and threads. Isn't that called Formster?
I don't know what it's called, but I think I know what you're talking about. It's like, is it like a React, or is it Svelte maybe? Like just a common way for people to add those into their apps?
Yeah, it's just a micro. I'll find it. I have it in one of my projects.
Okay.
I think it's called Formster.
All right. Let's see. Here's another app, Meet Me on Nostr. Not quite sure how it works, but I think this is probably the right approach for onboarding someone, because I'm assuming that it will let you set their initial follow list, or contact list. So that's probably good. Just wanted to bring that up real quickly.
It's Zap Threads.
Zap Threads, okay, that makes sense. All right, the last thing I wanted to look at is brainstorm.ninja. So there's a lot of thinking behind this. There's this idea of decentralized language. And so the main guy behind this, David Strayhorn, he's been working on this for at least a year, and I've been following it pretty closely. There's a lot to it. There's this idea of DCOSL, and you can find his GitHub, and he kind of gets into the overall like philosophy of it. I think it's pretty neat. Strayhorn, where is it? At the bio. Oh yeah, he's a PhD. I don't know where's the bio, but anyway, like, so he works. He's done a lot of work in, I think, like brain science, and so he's comparing a lot of the stuff to how neural systems work in the brain, and how it's a decentralized system. There's no component in the brain that's like the master, right? There are different components that have different functions, and so he's actually trying to model some of that in software, and I think it's really fascinating, especially because I think that the closest we could ever get to making something that is some sort of AGI, it can't be just machine based, like in my opinion. I think it would have to be something that operates slower, but it has more humans involved in it. So it's a really ambitious project, and part of it is the grapevine, and like contexts are important because it's kind of like expanding the idea of web of trust, where web of trust starts out with just a follow, and that's like, okay, well, that's somewhat indication of trust, but it's not very specific. Maybe you don't trust them at all, but you just want to see what they're posting, so it doesn't really have a lot of context. So the idea of context is you can create very specific context for what you're assigning trust to. We can create one right now, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, so yeah, I want to go ahead and create one. Actually, I want to start with categories. So I want to create a category reviews. Oops, got authorize. Okay. Category here. Category is published. But I want to make another one now. Reviews of reviews.
Yeah.
Right? I
Going deeper.
It's getting meta. I got this idea from reading about, what is Savesky's project? I think it's called Satlantis. Or no, is Satlantis the game?
No, it's both.
It's both.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he talks about reviews of reviews. Wait, I mean, I think it totally makes sense. Right? How do you know that the reviews you're reading are trustworthy? Should be able to review the reviews.
You should be able to review names that are reused.
What do you mean?
Atlantis.
Oh yeah.
That threw me for a loop.
Yeah, no, I can't be stumped on my boy David's namespace.
Yeah. So this is a very ambitious project. A lot of what it's trying to do has to do with namespaces, right? So that's what categories are, right? That's a namespace. Same with actions. Let's go back to that. The app is a little buggy. Okay. Actions. No, actions. It's not the one I wanted to look at. Okay, categories are simple. Context, I haven't tried making one yet, but this is a little more complicated. So a context has a category. So we could do reviews, which is the category I just made. Okay, so basically it looks like a context is a combination of a category and an action. So I could do this. A context could be curating lists of reviews. And now I think with that context, I can assign trust for people to be able to do that. I think that's how it works. I don't know, just kind of winging it. But I think it's cool stuff. It finally has a web app. So that was holding this back for a while. All there was a Linux app that wasn't too easy to run. And I was telling Strayhorn, like, if this is gonna get any traction, it needs to have a web app. So it's good to see that it finally does. And it seems pretty intuitive. Like at first glance, you don't really know what a context is, but you can see just playing around with it, it's starting to come together. Now there's a new context to curate lists in categories of reviews. And I could do the same thing for reviews of reviews, right? So I think it's a pretty interesting sort of network of concepts that's able to form around it. And that's just the grapevine. There's another app in this collection, and that's the wiki app that I mentioned earlier. And it's just pulling in the existing wiki events. But it's using, I don't know how far along it is, but I would assume that there's some connection between the grapevine and the wiki. So like the existing wiki apps, they already have like naive web of trust built into them. So I think the goal with this is to try to make it more advanced, more fine-grained. And that's about as far as I got with it. The concepts that I've seen around all this grapevine stuff have been really fascinating, and it's good to see that there's starting to be like a usable interface for it. So I'm pretty excited to see where it goes.
So Nostr's not dead.
Maybe not. Well, but iShow Speed still doesn't use it. So right now that's the only comment. So if someone doesn't jump in like the next 5 minutes, that's gonna be the winner. Let's see. Are there any other apps anyone has in mind they'd want to see?
Santos made a Nostr app. It was Magster.
Magster?
Magstr.
Let's see if I can find that.
Yeah, I don't know the. It might be XYZ.
Magster.
Let's see if that works.
DuckDuckGo might not be the best search engine. Magster.
Yeah, he made it for B2C++. Honestly.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so there should be a link in there. If you scroll down.
Okay.
Yes.
So what does this do?
So it pulls in the long form content events, and so the idea is twofold. One idea is that you have your own personal microblog,
Okay.
similar to ublog. But then another idea is that you subscribe to other people, and so you kind of get this magazine kind of look.
Hmm.
But it's a magazine where you choose the editors,
But
and then you aggregate them into this feed.
okay, I think I'm missing something. Like that sounds like what I want to do with RSS. Like I want to be able to pull in blogs from various places. But if we're just talking about blog posts on Nostr, aren't these apps already doing that? Where I can go here and just see all the articles. So what's different about this?
I think just the style. He
Okay.
wants it to be more minimalist,
Okay.
just focused on the content versus a bunch of other stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought it was cool. Because you can clone this and then you can stylize it for your own thing and personalize it. Whereas those other apps you're talking about, you're
Oh.
inside their app.
Oh, okay.
Or this is meant to be something you reskin as your thing.
Right. Okay, I think it's starting to make more sense where it's like I'm sort of in the role as a media organization, right? And my website is a fork of Magster and it pulls in content from different sources.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
So
starting to
you
make more
can,
sense.
You can clone or fork the Vercel app and kind of make
Yeah.
it,
I actually think that's a really good space for Nostr development, is making really easy to deploy Vercel apps and that people can just run themselves, customize. That's actually, that's an area I want to explore for some of my apps too.
yeah.
Like, I was thinking just a blog for myself, but it would be hosted on Vercel and it would automatically pull in the long form content posts that I write. And this is like similar idea, but it's able to pull in from more sources.
Because that was Facebook and MySpace's original idea.
Yeah,
Is you have your own little personal microblog that was easy to customize.
right.
And yeah, this would be amazing. I haven't used Magster.
Mhm.
I've used ublog,
Okay,
just kind of abandoned. But it's also like the same idea. It's just the letter U.
oh, okay.
And I don't even know if you might have to find it on GitHub. So do ublog, GitHub.
All right.
Yeah. And then they'll demo that.
Oh, this might be, someone might have already built what I wanted to do, so.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if their demo will actually load because it's kind of been abandoned. But I loaded mine, so if you
You have your own, you have
Yeah.
a fork of this? Let's see, is it gonna show up here? Forks?
well, you could just navigate to it. So it's hub. What is it? It's cmd at proof0.org. But it's cmd, or I'm sorry, it's proof0.org.
Proof
So
0,
this is like my NIT5,
okay.
and then I hosted this on here. And yeah, and I haven't really done much with it, but that's the idea. Like you
Oh,
form,
okay.
you log,
Okay.
you personalize it. You can even change the theme. So next to login, if you click that, you actually have these different themes.
Nice.
Do which I think is cool.
Yeah, I like that. I think I'm gonna need to, at the very least, look at the code and maybe fork it for what I'm trying to do, because this is very much in line with what I want to do. Yeah, I'm trying to get the best of both worlds between an RSS hosted blog and what Nostr can do, especially where Nostr can facilitate the comment section.
Yeah, or the cross posting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you click on one of those posts, where does it take you? Oh, so if you click on that one, this was a cross post from Stacker News,
Okay.
which I thought was cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Now,
And,
can it do replies? Is that what this is?
Yeah, I think you can do comments.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's neat. Let's see, login with extension. What are we doing about the quantum elephant? Does this have to do with breaking the taproot encryption?
Well, I think this was about, that Taproot is not quantum resistant.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. And like, what are some of the solutions? Lattice-based cryptography.
I've heard that mentioned. I still have no idea what lattice-based cryptography does.
It's not even a proof. It's more like it's a stark or it's a snark.
Some
It's
kind
an
of.
argument of knowledge. It's basically I can prove that I know something just by making a lot of really good guesses that I otherwise wouldn't be able to make
Okay.
if I hadn't known something. So it's not like an absolute proof. But yeah, you're just basically guessing that I know a secret that allows me to draw two points on a graph and I can get there in like the shortest amount of hops.
Is
I'm
that-
butchering the explanation?
No, that's fine. Is that at all similar to how Shamir works? Because I remember when you showed me that, that's sort of the general impression I got, that it wasn't as like
It's not
concrete as it
coordinates.
looks.
It's not a
Okay.
coordinate system. Well, the lattice-based cryptography is based on coordinates, but not Shamir. Shamir's not based on coordinates.
Okay. But yeah, I like this. Thanks for mentioning it, because this will be a good starting point for what I'm trying to do. And the theme part, like that's really good too, because one of the things I've been noticing lately as I've been exploring more of the world of RSS blogs, they don't care about accessibility. And
No,
like,
yeah.
I'm not like an accessibility police or anything, but some of these sites are just styled really badly. So
Yeah.
being able to have some choice there is good. Nostr kind of standardizes everything. If Nostr catches on, it's probably great for accessibility,
Yeah.
but it puts everything in like a cookie cutter form. Stuff like this lets you bring your own design and creativity into it.
Yeah. Which is what I like.
Yeah,
It's a good way if you have a top domain that you bought for Xiii
yeah,
and you don't know what else to do with it,
Put that
you
up
just
there.
park this right there and you have your own little microblog. So I thought that was cool.
yeah, that's really neat. I wonder what it's going to look like when people want to set up their site that way, but they want to have like this micro app and this micro app. I don't know how those compose. I don't know if there's an easy way to do that.
On the same top domain?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, maybe another app for that.
There's always more to develop.
But you can have subdomains, like if you control the top domain, you
Yeah.
can have subdomains. So you just post this on the subdomain, proof.work, and it would be like a blog.proof.work.
Yeah.
So,
I want to do something like that for my apps, because we looked at Nostr Graveyard. I also have Mutester, which that was from way back, but it's still around.
so lonely, homely.
It takes a while to load, but this is the app Super Testnet helped me work on, but it looks at all the mute and report events, and then
Is this the naughty list?
it sorts your follows according to like the most naughty, if you will. So here you go. This guy, 38% is really bad. I mean, because these are all of the people I follow who muted or reported.
This is kind of spicy.
Right? This guy is like right on the edge. It's like if you were any spicier, I couldn't follow you anymore. And then Ram 2, also known as Reshma.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know who this is.
Yeah, she's pretty controversial.
Okay.
But honestly, like these are the only ones that are kind of spicy. At this point, these are just like normal Nostr profiles. Like the only reason this guy's muted is because he posts like 100 times a day. Okay, I mean the Prim Reaper is kind of spicy. Justin, he's muted by Carmen for obvious reasons. So yeah, the point is like I have all these little micro apps, but there's no connection between them. I need to just like find a way to maybe use subdomains or something like that and have like easy navigation between them. Okay, there's one more comment. I saw this web app. Okay, it's not an argument for why Nostr won't
PlebDev
work.
built this.
What is it?
PlebDev built this. Jason. It's Nostr minus Nostr.
Wait, what?
It was his first Nostr client, and he was like, I want to build a Nostr client that filters out the word Nostr. And I was like, dude, that's an amazing idea.
Wait, I need to pull this up. This looks good.
It wasn't working when I tried.
Oh, it wasn't working. Okay, I'll pull it up again. Nostr minus Nostr Vercella. All right.
Whoa.
This is an example. This is what I was saying. This is what I was saying about styling. Like, what are we doing?
That's awesome.
This is what happened. I got stuck on the login page.
This is ridiculous.
It's like an obstacle course.
I'm gonna have to explore this more.
Oh.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, I guess it did finally log me in. Here's a link to your website. Click to. This is just over the top. I love it. It's like it's even got sound. It's an obnoxious website that has sound.
Yeah. He loves doing that.
I dig it. I'm glad people are still having fun with it.
That's kind of cool. Oh, click the thunder button.
Where?
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
Thunder. Okay. You are. What even is?
Oh
that?
yeah, he has 2,000 SaaS apps by default. I helped him implement his apps, or he did it.
Does it use WebLN? Because I don't have that.
Be careful with that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
What am I authorizing? This can't. It can't spend my money. I don't have a. Wait. Yeah.
This is a Zap.
It's just a. It's probably gonna pull up a QR code.
It's a nice.
Okay. I mean, it's only 2,000 stats. Why not?
Let's go.
Paying out money today.
Go.
I'm gonna try to pay it this time.
I bet something cool will happen.
Just give me a minute to start the node. No, let me pay it.
Oh.
Did you already pay it?
No.
Let me pay it. Just give me a minute to start the node in the phone.
It's so slow.
I know it's slow. I was having trouble last time, but
I want to see if Phoenix is banning it.
okay. Zeus is up. I should be able to pay this now. So I think it's just going to his Albi wallet.
Cast that thunderbolt.
All right, I paid it.
And Zeus.
Polling.
I
Jason, you gotta work on that polling.
got to work on it. Does that have to be done with polling, or could that be done with WebSockets?
Well, I mean, you subscribe for the Zach receipt. That's kind of the poll that you do.
So it's not even
So
polling.
you just pick. So Albi should have just published a Zach receipt. That you
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's not even, so this doesn't require polling. You just,
Yeah, no. You just need subscription.
I'm going to try it.
You can pull the verify endpoint.
okay,
If it's like LURL
okay.
to see if those paid.
Wait, so,
Oh, it says the payment failed.
which makes
Payment
sense.
is not reachable or does not have enough inbound.
Well, it makes sense that it would fail because I just paid it.
Ah.
It
Also, it went through for you.
did, yeah. Yeah, it's just weird that it, I mean,
It's
it's not really,
thunder.
it's not really weird. I'm kind of used to this. I'm kind of used to it where the site doesn't recognize that the payment went through. But it sounds like it's not even a polling thing. They just need to, they need to be listening, right? They need queries, what do you call it, subscriptions on the relays to pick up those Zap receipts.
Yeah.
So, cool. All right, let me check the comments one more time. I think Logan, looks like we have a winner. That'll be you. All right, that's it for Nostrdevs 13. Thanks, everyone.